Hi, I'm Chef Scott Samuel here at the Culinary Institute of America at Greystone in Napa Valley. Today I'm going to make a Mediterranean dish incorporating Israeli couscous with grapes, Moroccan spice seared pork tenderloin, and pomegranate molasses. So a couple components here. One is Israeli couscous. We have the ingredients here for the couscous, which is olive oil, garlic, diced onions, red pepper, Israeli couscous, which is a little bit larger than the regular couscous, a little bit of curry powder, and then when we're done cooking this, like a pilaf, we're going to move into finishing it with fresh red grapes, toasted pine nuts, and currants. And then when we serve the plate, we're going to have some black grapes and pomegranate molasses. So let's talk about the pork. I'm going to make a Moroccan spice rub using dried spices. So what we have here is dried chili powder, cloves, white pepper, coriander, turmeric, a cinnamon stick, cumin seeds, black pepper, and cardamom. All these spices I'm going to put together in a warm saute pan and toast until we get a nice aroma. So I'm going to do the whole spices first, and then I'll come with the 2 ground spices. So on medium heat, I want to basically activate the flavors and develop kind of a deep smokiness with my spices. This is a spice rub that could be used over the next 2 months. So I'm going to toast it, grind it in a spice grinder, and then that's what I'm going to use to crush the pork. Okay, so once I get a nice color on my whole spices, a little bit of smokiness coming off, I can smell the aroma. I'll add my turmeric, my dried chili powder, and this is when I'm going to take it off the heat. Good color. I'm going to go ahead and just grind this in a spice grinder, and this is my Moroccan spice. So let's make the Israeli couscous with grapes and toasted pine nuts. The first step is to saute our aromatics in a touch of olive oil. So garlic, diced onion, and I'm going to cook these down for a few minutes to develop the flavor and get a little bit of caramelized color to it. Not too much, just enough to soften the vegetable and start to lightly caramelize. Okay, so I've got some vegetables that are slightly translucent. I'm just about to develop color, and this is where I want to add my curry powder. The spices in the curry powder are kind of fat soluble, so I want to cook them just for a minute before I add my chicken stock. And the flavor profile of curry and grapes and currants and pine nuts are all very traditional in the Moroccan cuisine. All right, so I've bloomed my curry. Add my couscous. Add my chicken stock. Okay, so we're just going to come to a simmer here. Put a lid on it. We're going to turn it down to medium-low heat. And in about 15 or 20 minutes, my couscous will be done, and I'll be able to add my fresh ingredients at the end. Okay, back into this Israeli couscous. Let's absorb the liquid. Nice texture, nice color. This is where I want to take it off the heat and add my toasted pine nuts, my dried currants, my fresh red grapes. And this is ready to serve. I'm going to do a season to taste with a touch of kosher salt. Stir this up, and I'm going to set it aside, keep it warm, while I go ahead and make the pork. Okay, let's marinate the pork. I have my trimmed pork tenderloin. When I buy the pork tenderloin, there's a silver skin on it, and I like to trim that off so that it doesn't add a chew to the mouth when we cook it. Here are the spices that I've toasted and ground, and the cardamom seeds, the cinnamon, it's all been ground up to a fine dust. So what I want to do is season my pork, and when I do this, I like to marinate it in a Ziploc bag. I think it's very easy to rub it in spices. So about a tablespoon of our ground spices. The rest of these can be set aside for later use. And then I'm just going to marinate it for about a half an hour to develop flavor, pushing out all the excess air. And I like to kind of, once it's in the bag, rub it around so I get my spices. And as you can see, I don't have a lot of spices. I just want it lightly spiced. This is not to overpower the dish. It's just to pair with the sweetness of the grapes. So we'll set this aside for half an hour to marinate, and then come back and cook it. Okay, my pork has had a chance to marinate with the spice rub. Have a hot pan before I sear anything. This is going to be considered the quick sear method. We're doing a dry heat saute with olive oil, and then I pop it into a 425 degree oven to roast it for about 15 minutes until my pork is at 145 degrees. So I'm cooking this over a medium-high heat. Drizzle of olive oil as soon as it shimmers, but before it smokes is my sign to add the pork. So I'm going to sear it a little bit on each side, get some nice color, and then place the whole pan in the oven and roast it until our temperature is at 145. Then we'll bring it out and rest it for a period of time and complete this dish. Okay, let's check on our pork. We'll go ahead and set this aside to rest for a few minutes in a warm spot so the juices come back to the center, and then we'll be ready to slice this and serve it with our couscous. We're going to be garnishing with our pomegranate molasses and our fresh black grapes, and we'll have a complete dish. Okay, after our pork's rested for about 5 minutes, we're going to slice it and serve it with our grape couscous. So it looks good, smells great. A little drizzle of pomegranate molasses. Roasted spiced pork. A couple of black grapes. So here we have our Moroccan spiced pork tenderloin with Israeli couscous with red and black grapes, pomegranate molasses. Enjoy.